Hi, I'm Maria Wilson, Mission and Evangelism Director at Woodside Church in Yardley, Pennsylvania. And today I'm going to talk to you about your planning timeline for the day your church leaves the building. It's best to allow about 4 to 5 months lead time to prepare and to communicate to your congregation what will be involved in this special day. First and foremost, we suggest you choose an overall leader, not the pastor from your congregation, a person who can oversee all the parts of this mission, a person who is respected in your congregation, organized, someone who is good at recruiting, and of course, someone who has a strong relationship with Jesus Christ. At Woodside, I am this person. This person can then begin to assemble a team of leaders to oversee the various parts of this outreach, especially someone to oversee the mission projects your congregation will work on the day it leaves the building. This overall leader should begin to consider the number of mission projects you expect you will need based on the anticipated number of participants from your congregation. For example, at Woodside, we guesstimated about 200 to 225 people would volunteer and decided we needed at least 20 different projects, assuming approximately 10 people were needed per project. Some projects will have more sign-ups, some less. Also, some projects may only be able to accommodate a limited number, so this balanced out an average across all the projects. If your congregation is larger or smaller, you will adjust your numbers to reflect how many you think you will participate. Next, begin to consider possible leaders. Begin by looking at things your church is already doing. Perhaps you are already involved with a food pantry or homeless shelter, and you can expand upon it and include this particular outreach. Then start with members of your congregation who have a personal passion or affiliation for a mission. Some leaders were simply selected because they had a proven track record of strong leadership skills. Some names were placed upon my heart to ask, and others volunteered to lead based on a need they identified among a friend or a neighbor, like a single mom who needs help with a home repair, or an elderly neighbor who needs yard work done. Begin to consider types of projects you will work on. In addition to things you are already doing, consider projects for all ages, from preschool to elementary through senior citizens. You should consider offering projects for various skill sets, from heavy to light labor. Offer indoor and outdoor projects, so if weather causes some outdoor projects to be canceled, you have alternatives. We also suggest, even though we call this the church has left the building, you do offer a few projects in your building that day. It's a great way to include new people who happen to show up at your church for the first time. Also, for those few members who might show up and say, "Oh, this was today," they can get involved in something happening right then and there. At 3 months from leaving the building, have as many leaders in place as possible. Ask your leaders to begin to narrow down the broad details of this project. They should be in contact with the service agency they're working with. They should know how many volunteers are needed. Is there an age limit? Are there special requirements, like a background check? Will volunteers need special equipment, like rakes, shovels, electric drills? Even something as simple as, should volunteers bring lunch? The more the leader can provide in details about the project, the more likely a volunteer is to sign up. Begin to advertise with save the date language in your bulletin, on your website, and with announcements in your worship services. Make sure your staff and the mission project leaders are actively communicating and sharing the ideas of signing up for a project with their ministry teams. Solicit your congregation for project ideas and possible leaders. During worship services, ask people to submit ideas for projects. Of course, if they submit the idea, try to get them to be the leader for it, which leads up to another important point. Don't take on a project unless there's a leader committed to leading it. 6 weeks out is your overall kickoff for the Church Has Left the Building campaign. At this time, you should be ready to take sign-ups for projects. Project details should be in place so people know what is expected of them. We put a sign-up form in the Sunday bulletin that included the leaders and details about the projects. Encourage people to sign up during the worship service and place the form in their offering. We also took sign-ups online through our website, and we sent periodic emails out with the links to review the project list and the ability for them to sign up. Ask leaders to recruit volunteers for their projects and not wait for the sign-ups. You will want to monitor sign-ups as they come in, so if a project fills up, you can close it if necessary. Send the names of the volunteers for each project to the respective project leader. Now, you're about 2 weeks out from when your church leaves the building. Provide each leader with the names of their volunteers. Leaders should contact volunteers to confirm their participation and last-minute details, such as the time the group is meeting. Are you meeting at the location or at your church to carpool? Are special tools needed? Remind leaders to take or have one of their volunteers take pictures of the group in action. Finally, leave the building. The day of the event, some groups may gather at your church in the morning for a commissioning prayer and to organize our carpool. Some will gather at their work site. Be sure to have a greeter in place with an explanatory flyer to welcome first-time visitors or those who might not have known what was happening that day. Also, invite them to join in a project that is happening in the building. Remind people to come to the evening worship service. I can't say enough what an important part of the day the worship service is. A time when all can gather and celebrate all the work that was accomplished in Jesus' name. If you have additional questions or would like more information, please visit our website or email me, Maria Wilson. We hope you'll join us for The Church Has Left the Building.